Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and honor to call together our regular City of Griffin Board of Commissioners meeting this evening. I believe we have our seventh member in the neighborhood trying to get here, so we're going to continue on. We've asked this evening if the Pledge of Allegiance be led by Commissioner McLemore and the invocation be led by Commissioner Holberg. If you please rise and join us.
Please join me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just in the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next item is approval of the agenda, and I believe we have an amendment. That's your cue, Mr. Brock.
On my cue. Okay. All right. I got it here somewhere. Okay, here we go. Make a motion to amend and to add. Consider approval for Doug Holberg to attend the MEAG Power Annual Conference at Amelia Island, Florida, July the 10th through the 13th, 2016 is item number 34, and under regular agenda, making executive session number 35 for the by commissioners.
We have a motion to amend or approve the agenda with this amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. First item of business under our presentations and delegations is to consider a proclamation declaring June 2016 to be General Aviation Month. We have a motion to approve the proclamation, please.
Make a motion that we approve proclamation.
We have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Discussion. All in favor? Okay, if you'll bear with me, I'm going to read this. I wear several hats. One is as chair of the Airport Authority, and we're going to do the proclamation. I'm going to then ask Commissioner Brock to come join me. He serves with me on the Airport Authority, and we work together in that endeavor. Proclamation declaring General Aviation Appreciation Month. Whereas the city of Griffin in the state of Georgia has a significant interest in the continued vitality of general aviation, aircraft manufacturing, aviation educational institutions, aviation organizations, and community airports. And whereas general aviation and the Griffin Spalding County Airport have an immense economic impact on the city of Griffin and Spalding County. And whereas Georgia is home to 98 public use general aviation airports, which serve 18,325 pilots and 5,228 active general aviation aircraft, and contribute over $1.2 billion annually to the state's economy. And whereas Georgia is home to 97 fixed-base operators, 128 repair stations, 469 heliports, 11 FAA-approved pilot schools, 3,008 flight attendants, 3,184 flight instructors, and whereas general aviation not only supports Georgia's economy, it enhances an overall quality of life by supporting emergency medical and healthcare services, law enforcement, firefighting, and disaster relief, and by transporting business travelers to their destination quickly and safely. And whereas the nation's aviation infrastructure represents an important public benefit, and congressional oversight should be in place to ensure stable funding of this system. Now, therefore, and in witness thereof, as chairman on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I urge all citizens to reflect on the vital strategic resource that is general aviation, and thereby raise awareness of the importance of general aviation to our community. I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Griffin to be affixed this 14th day of June, the year of our Lord 2016, declaring that month of June be proclaimed General Aviation Appreciation Month. So I myself, the chairman, Mr. Smith, the city manager, would you join me? I think Ray looks like he's about to take a picture, so we'll we'll do it.
was wondering how you were gonna present it to yourself.
I am, well,
He's a miracle worker.
we're gonna present the one other we worked
There
with.
we are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And I'll let you take care of it.
Thank you.
Trusted you. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Oh, good evening, Cynthia. Item number 2, it's always a pleasure to come to this part of our meeting each month, and we're going to recognize Cindy Barton, archivist with the Planning and Development Department, as the May 2016 Strongest Link Award recipient, and Toussaint Kirk, our Director of Planning and Development, will address. Good evening, Toussaint.
Good evening, good evening. This is truly an honor for me and for my department. We actually, I guess it was 4 people that actually were nominated for this month, Strongest Link, and actually we won. That's a good thing. But what I will say is that, to me, being an archivist is like being a teacher. You kind of have to love what you do. And Ms. Barton has demonstrated her love for the history and research to the point that she spent the last 18 months or so digging through old records and obscure websites, identifying World War I veterans from our community. She started research basically based off of a couple small clues, and with her, I guess, knack for finding the end result, she spent 18 months identifying 15 lost soldiers from this community. To basically culminate her dedication to her research, these 15 lost soldiers were unveiled at the Doughboy Monument this year during the Memorial Day celebration at Veteran Memorials Park. And needless to say, I think that the city of Griffin and Spalding County are very lucky to have Ms. Barton as our archivist. And we're honored to bestow the Strongest Link in the Chain to her for the month of May.
Very good, thank you very much. And I'll add one thing to it. The military community here, veterans, was extremely proud of this and worked together. The American Legions, both the VFWs, all came together and supported this. So it was a very together and healing moment in the city of Griffin, and she's directly, it's attributable to her work. So, yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Ms. Barton, if you would join me up front.
Do you have a lighter chain?
No, that's it.
Get on your knees.
Great things come in small packages.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Also, you get your own private chain that you carry around.
Oh, I got a chain on my.
Thank you so much. We really
Thank you
appreciate
very
you.
much. Thank you. Number 695, if anybody's keeping. Do I get to have a speech?
Yes, ma'am.
I have to lower the microphone, I'm sorry. Good evening. To the department directors, the administration, and the Board of Commissioners, I'd like to thank you all for this lovely award and honor. Although there is no letter I in the word team, I am a member of a very great team, Planning and Development. It's a very small department, but it has a big impact across the city. And it was especially nice to be nominated by one of my team members, Kendall Woodard of Main Street. And it is also especially nice to have some of my team members here tonight supporting me. 3 years ago, the Griffin Spalding Archives was a brand new section of Planning and Development. And since that time, the Archives has had the opportunity to be a part of many projects and events in the city, often partnering with Kenda at Main Street. The Lost Soldiers of World War I research was fully supported by the Planning and Development team, and our director, Mr. Toussaint Kirk. Research is slow, and it is often very, very lonely. But projects like the Lost Soldiers are important to the collective memory, the history of a place. It is my hope that the archives will continue to grow in collections, in patron service, and in adding to research such as this project, the Lost Soldiers, that adds to the collective memory of Griffin and Spalding County. Thank you again.
Thank you. Item number 3 on our agenda is to review the financial reports for April. Good evening, Marcus.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Trying to get this thing out the way. All right. We have a couple of reports to review, the cash balance, if anybody has any questions.
I do.
Yes, sir.
On the airport fund, 1 year ago, it showed our bond proceeds under cash and none this year, so where was it moved? I know you didn't get it, but I just want to know where it's reported if it's not at the cash balance.
That is a good question. Thank you for catching that. It vaporized.
Well, when you talk a few $1 million, even guys like me really pay attention, right?
Yes, sir. And that is a good point, and we will certainly make sure that account is reflected.
Thank you very much.
I will make a note of that. That's embarrassing. Okay. Who's missing? Yeah, I have a headache today, and I apologize for that. But okay, local option sales tax. Moving on then, if we don't have any other questions.
Up a little bit, which is a good trend.
Yes.
Any questions for him? Okay.
No, but before we move on, I have a point of clarification. Okay, I looked at the website today that we did receive we didn't receive it. It's on its way here. Should have been posted today or tomorrow. $660,000 for Spalding County collected in May for April. Secondly, there's of that $660,000, $121,000 of it belongs to the city of Griffin, and that is to be posted into our account tomorrow. So it's not reflected here, but we are aware that the money is beginning to come in.
Checks in the mail, right?
I physically saw that, yes, that we noted the numbers.
Okay.
The other point to make is that between now and next July, we need to reserve $1.3 million of whatever SPLOST collections come in towards bond payments. So if we're collecting $120,000 a month, on average, if that's the trend, if that's the first number that comes in, and we need a minimum of $113 per month, we can't touch any of that money yet until we satisfy the debt service.
They paid Orchard Hill and Sunnyside first, so that'll change.
I'm sorry, say again?
They paid Orchard Hill and Sunnyside first, right, William?
Oh,
And so that amount will change in terms of
We did
46.
agree, in the intergovernmental agreement that Sunnyside and Orchard Hill will be funded first, and that can be accomplished with this initial check, so that everything after that. 660 was the first number, and I am very disappointed in that number, but I also have to realize that it is the first month, and maybe not everybody reported. We had budgeted $700,000. And if you go back and look at the LOST numbers and matriculate that to an equivalent to a SPLOST, the last LOST number would have been over 800,000 collected. So, we are still hoping that we'll get over 700 per month, which should have you some money for your pay-as-you-go projects.
Pay-go projects, correct. Thank you.
So the State Tax Commission, their infinite skill and wisdom.
Department of Revenue.
Department of Revenue.
Thank you. Yes.
As we think shorted us.
Well, it could, again, with implementing new rates, it's timing. As Mr. Wilson had implied, it may be getting everybody on board with the new rate, it's remittance process,
Okay.
and, we're off to a good start.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So that takes care of that file. So the other item is the interim statements by fund. Any questions on any of the enterprise funds, general fund, activity as a whole?
They look pretty much on track, so anybody got anything else?
Nice and boring?
Nice and boring, just like we like it. All right,
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Marcus.
you.
Come to our citizens' comment portions. At this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing, or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business, are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business, and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolutions. So hereby the chairperson does open it up. Is anybody will start on my left? Anybody on my left like to come forward and say anything? Anybody on the right? All right. Moving on. Public hearings. Item number 4, public hearings are conducted to allow public comment on specific advertised issues such as zoning ordinance, etc., and other legislative actions. Tonight, the public hearing is to receive comments regarding the proposed budgets for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2016, ending June 30th, 2017, and this will be our final public hearing before adoption of the budget. So, if there are any budget comments, anybody want to say anything? This is an easy crowd. All right? We'll move on then. We have this evening items 5 through 17 that are on the consent agenda, which has been published. Unless there's a request to read them all, I will use the published agenda, and if there are no objections, we can approve the consent agenda as one item, if nobody objects. Anybody object? If not,
Motion to approve the consent agenda. as
Mr.
presented.
Holberg moves we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Mr. McLemore, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Moving ahead to the regular agenda, item number 18. Consider approval of a resolution adopting the annual fiscal year 2016-17 operating budget, appropriating expenditures and projected revenues for specific purposes, functions, and activities by fund for the budget period and the capital improvement program.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Holberg to approve.
Second.
Mr. McLemore, second. Discussion. All in favor? I got my budget tie, folks. So it passed. All right, moving on. I- Huh?
The flag.
I'm glad you didn't say that first.
I would've messed it up. Item number 19, consider a resolution approving an administrative reorganization to match personnel changes in the fiscal year 17 budget. These reorganization have been discussed by Mr. Smith. How say y'all?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Holberg to approve.
Second.
Ms. McLemore, second. Any discussion, questions? Not all in favor of approving the reorganization as submitted. Unanimous. Item number 20, consider approval of an intergovernment agreement between the city of Griffin and the other guys, Spalding County, for information technology services, including fiber optic communications and server services. And we do have our county manager and assistant manager here, which is an honor. Nice to have you with us, gentlemen.
Make a motion that we approve.
Mr. McCord to
Second.
approve. Ms. Ward to second. Any discussion?
That was Mr. Brock.
I think I did.
Oh, Mr. Brock, I'm sorry. Mr. Brock seconded. Any further discussion? I'll make one comment, that this is an excellent example of the city and the county work together. A lot of benefits for both sides, and contrary to some of the stuff you hear off and on, this is a true partnership in the city, county, and Mr. Poland did a great job working on this, so thank you for your partnership, and I think the taxpayers are the better for it. All in favor, please raise your hand. No opposed, unanimous. Thank you. Item 21, consider a letter of engagements with Rothellus Financial Consultants, Inc. for the calculation and support for the City of Griffin's wholesale and retail water and sewer rates in the amount of $20,000 for the Water Wastewater Department of Public Works and Utilities.
Make a motion to approve. Question.
Okay, Mr. Holberg, a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McLemore, second. Your questions, sir?
Dr. Keller, this will go into next fiscal year? That's correct. The rate structure? So it goes, it's a 12-month kind of contract? Correct. Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Item number 22, consider approval of task order with Tetra Tech for the watershed sediment evaluation for the dredging of Heads Creek Reservoir in the amount of $126,000 for the Water Wastewater Department, Public Works Utilities Department.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Cord to approve.
Second.
Mr. McLemore, second.
Question.
Question.
Could you just give a quick timeline in regards to this evaluation and then what kind of the steps you're looking at in terms of the dredging?
They'll do the sediment evaluation of the tributary, unnamed tributaries going into Heads Creek. Next year, I'll come back before you for the 404 permit that we'll have to go through and the environmental. And then in 2018, we'll start, dredging Heads Creek Reservoir on a 10-year program.
But the sediment evaluation is the chemical analysis, not the,
Yeah, what it is.
what we have to deal with?
You're looking at the total volume of sediment versus, where it's actually coming in at. There'll be some modeling done, because we're gonna try to put some BMP, best management practices in place, so that we can at least, curb the sediment coming into the reservoirs.
Okay, so this is not a chemical thing, this is a volume.
It's a volume.
Brant, you're gonna have to come to the podium so she can
Okay.
make sure you're on recorder if you're gonna talk. Bad as I hate for you to
Any
have
other,
to get up.
any other questions before we get the old man up here?
He just had a birthday, so be gentle with him.
Okay.
There's a volume, not
It's a volume study, correct.
In regard to the potential hazardous soil in there, will this be?
No, it doesn't, no, that's already, been already established, we've already pre-sediment, there's not anything that we're aware of yet.
But to reiterate, you basically said 2018 for the actual dredging.
Yes, correct.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor, please raise a hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item number 23, consider approval of an agreement with Ecologics A. Mueller Company for Echo Shore DX Distribution Leak Detection Pilot Study in the amount of $54,745 for the Water Wastewater Department of Public Works.
Make a motion that we approve.
Mr. McCord to approve.
Second.
Second, Mr. McLemore. Any discussions, questions?
Quick summary of where you're gonna be impacting this?
It's gonna be, we're starting a pilot study in the hardest part of town, right downtown historic Griffin, where the water system is the oldest, looking for leaks.
Okay, anything else? All in favor, please raise a hand. Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 24. Consider approval of the fiscal year 2016-17 mass water meter purchase from Delta Municipal Supply Company in amount of $472,500 for Water Wastewater Department, Public Works and Utilities Department.
Make a motion, we approve.
Mr. Brock to approve.
Second.
Mr. McLemore, our secondary. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. As folks in the audience probably realize, this is the Dr. Keller show. Item number 25, consider approval of a task order for the condition assessment of Cabin Creek wastewater treatment plant to Paragon Consulting in the amount of $93,275 for Water Wastewater Department Public Works.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Holberg to approve.
Second.
Ms. Ward, was it second? Ms. Ward, second. Discussion. All in favor? All right, unanimous. Item number 26, consider approval of a task order form for the Still Branch High Rate Permit Upgrade to Paragon Consulting Group in the amount of $14,750 for Water Wastewater Department of Public Works and Utilities.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Holberg to approve.
Second.
Ms. Ward to second. Discussion. All in favor? Again, unanimous. Item number 27, consider approval of a task order form for the sewer model and capacity analysis for Potato Creek Sewer Basin to Paragon Consulting Group in the amount of $285,000 for the Water Wastewater Department of Public Works.
Motion, we approve.
Mr. Brock with a motion to approve.
Second with question.
Second, Mr. Holberg. Question?
We've already done one of these for the
Cabin
Cabin
Creek,
Creek Basin.
and this year's Potato, next year be Shoal will be done.
Have we got any feedback back from the Cabin Creek Basin?
We're going through that modeling process right now. The final presentation's the end of this week. And it's basically, we're looking at the nutrient loading that's coming in through, INR.
So the amount of money we spent there in Cabin Basin, do we see a return on that capital investment?
Yeah, we will,
from what we're-
because we're just now doing the condition assessment also that goes along with that. And then when that condition assessment's completed, then we'll do the design work based on the, data that's coming in from that model.
Thank you.
We haven't voted yet, have we? I've lost track
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item number 28, consider awarding the bid for Potato Creek wastewater treatment plant generators to W.W. Williams, Inc. in the amount of $298,767 for the upgrade and expansion of Potato Creek wastewater treatment plant of Public Works and Utilities.
Motion approved.
Mr. Holberg to approve. Mr. McLemore, second. Discussion. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item number 29, consider adopting policies and procedures for internments and erection of monuments in city-owned and maintained cemeteries. This resolution is pursuant to newly revised Section 3033 of the Code of Griffin.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Brock with a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. McCord with a second. Discussion.
Have you had any negative feedback from
No,
anybody
sir.
on this?
And we met with funeral homes and everything. Things seem to be working smoothly.
For those who might be interested, we are going to privatize our grave opening and burials and remove the city from that service. We think we can do it cheaper with private enterprise than doing it ourselves, so I think it's a good move. All in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item number 30, consider approval of a work contract to Doric of Central Georgia, Doric Vault, for the opening and closing of graves for the city cemetery, Public Works and Utilities.
Motion approved.
Ms. Ward would to approve. Second, Mr. McLemore. Discussion. All in favor? Again, unanimous. Thank you. Item number 31, appoint one commissioner to the Board of Directors of the Griffin Business and Tourism Association for a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2016. I do know that Mrs. Ward is interested in this position. I don't know if there's anyone else.
Mr. Chairman, that should be the Griffin Spalding Business and Tourism Association. I apologize. It's GSBTA.
Oh,
I apologize for that.
I know,
error.
they're sitting here. We have to
Yes,
be
sir.
careful.
I
Yeah.
have to apologize for
They're
that. error.
asleep anyway.
Yes,
I'd like
sir.
to nominate Cynthia Ward.
Make a motion to close nominations.
We have a motion to nominate Cynthia. We have a nomination. We have a motion to close nominations. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McCord, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Congratulations, tourism lady.
Thank you.
We want a River Street.
All right. Item number 32, consider a professional agreement between the City of Griffin and Municipal Court Director Pamela Allen as an independent consultant as recommended by the Georgia Municipal Association to conduct an efficiency assessment of the Griffin Municipal Court as a pilot project for GMA in the amount of $2,450 plus travel, and amend the budget accordingly.
Make a motion, we approve.
We have a motion to approve. Second, was that Mr. McLemore? And I understand Jessica thinks this is a very good idea. Any discussion? All in favor? Approved unanimously. Thank you. And this is a toughie. Consider cancellation of the June 28, 2016 Board of Commissioners meeting due to the Georgia Municipal Association Annual Conference and the July 12, 2016 meeting due to the MEAG Power Annual Conference.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. McLemore with motion to approve. Ms. Ward with second. Any discussion about skipping 2 meetings? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. We're unanimous. Item number 34, as amended, added. A motion, consider approval for Doug Holberg to attend the MEAG Power Annual Conference at Amelia Island, Florida, July 10 through 13, 2016.
Make a motion when we approve.
Second.
We have a motion, Mr. Cord, a second, Mr. Brock. Any discussion? We're gonna let him go? All right, all in favor? All right. Griffin's safer with you gone? I agree. And item number, well, let's wait for 35 for a minute. We'll do the reports, and so folks can get out of here, and we'll go to...
Okay, Mr. Swab and Mr. Wilson told you about the SPLOST update, so I'll check that off. For an update on where we are, our Ellis Road property, as you know, we've closed, and the tenant has until the end of the month to vacate that property, and then we'll have RFPs out for the architect. We've ordered our fire truck with the delivery expected in October. The old City Hall building, we're refining that RFP to go out later this month. And we also closed on 310 North 12th Street this week as well, and that tenant has until the end of the month to vacate that as well. Tomorrow we're hosting a GMA revenue forecasting workshop at the Welcome Center. Mr. Swab is going to be making a presentation at that workshop. That'll be from 2 to 4 tomorrow, and that'll be a region-wide workshop that GMA is hosting here in Griffin. Speaking of GMA, Commissioner Holberg has been elected as 3rd Vice President for our district, so we congratulate him and look forward to working with him on the GMA group. And Ms. Watson has your GMA convention packets there at your place. She's done a lot of work, and hopefully there will be no glitches in your GMA reservations this year thanks to her work. And we won't see you again in this capacity till July 26th.
Okay.
That's
Wally,
it.
you have anything? Holberg.
Just a thank you to city staffs involved with the June Jam, Spalding County. Great event with the cornhole event, and we had spent somewhere around between 3,000 and 3,500 folks. Plus, we had the American Cornhole Champion from Kentucky participating that actually won $1,000. So we had a celebrity here that added to the excitement of the June Jam Day.
How many years in a row has he won it?
What's that?
How many years in a row has this gentleman won this
A few.
contest?
Well, this is the first time he's been to Griffin.
It is?
So he
Okay.
beat the guys that had won like 3 out of the last
He's
4
won it
years.
several
So it was a great event.
I'm curious, how many people know there's a U.S. National Cornhole Champion?
Had the belt, the championship, like wrestling belt and everything, and kids were taking pictures with it. It was an exciting day. Look forward to, our amphitheater.
Pickleball's next.
Pickleball's the next
Pickleball's
thing.
next.
There was an article in the GMA magazine about pickleball.
About pickleball.
Up and coming.
Okay, Mr. McLemore, you can't top that?
No, he set a precedent.
Mr. Court?
I hate to bring up gloom and doom, but I just hope that everyone is in prayer for our country and what is happening down in Orlando. You just have to pause a minute and just, it can happen anywhere. And so a threat to, in the words of Dr. King, justice anywhere it can happen everywhere. If it happens one place, it can happen. It could be our town next. So I hope everyone is in prayer. I want to extend a special shout out and thanks to Miss Ashton Elliott, visiting from Valdosta State College, home for the summer.
All right, well, welcome.
Coming to our meeting and participating, and that's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Brock?
We've got a police chief that just won't quit doing good things for us. The latest thing he has done is he got an internet exchange program at the police station, and I see one of his major officers sitting in the back there. And I'm saying hooray to you, sir, also. The police department's doing a great job, but we've got an internet exchange program where if you buy something on the internet and need to exchange it out with something, we got a station set in the police department parking lot designated to make those exchanges, to make it a safe place to do business. And I say hooray for Chief Yates and the rest of the Griffin Police Department.
Amen. Ms. Flowers?
So, regarding, the one-way street by my house, I have, actually have a formal complaint this time. Complaint is, so I'm just going on record as this, courtesy of Miss Eunice Jones on Austin Street, who is very upset that the sign that indicates that the street is one-way off of 155, that you can't see it until you get to the street and you're ready to turn onto the street. She did not mince words. She thinks it's very stupid. Whoever put the sign there was an idiot. And she wants to know why we don't have better sense to put it in a more visible place.
Could we put one of those notification signs, like left turn radius?
Yeah, thank you.
Or right turn, coming one way? Kind of those dead ends.
But what does she really think?
Well, you put the little
I
yellow
mean,
sign,
we-
like the county's
Well,
got those no outlet signs.
The
some of your
sign
dead end
is
signs.
not turned so that you can see it as you're driving down the street. You have to be in the midst of making the turn before you can see it.
Yes, ma'am, we've struggled with that for some time now. I will get back on it.
Thanks,
You're
that's
welcome.
it.
Dr. Keller.
I don't have anything.
One quick, thing, we talked about aviation earlier, but the airport authority has actually closed on the first piece of property for the new airport. I signed my name about 3,500 times the other day, some paperwork, and the money went to them. We have 3 more property owners on Banks Road that have signed contracts. We'll be closing hopefully in the next few days. So we're marching toward acquiring the property and building a new airport. So maybe we'll turn dirt on the airport before they turn dirt on my grave. We'll see. All right. No, I'm not betting on that. All right. Item number 35, consider an executive session pursuant to OCGA Section 5014-21 for the purpose of meeting with our attorney to discuss pending potential litigation.
Make a motion to enter into executive session.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor, please rise and retire to the room behind us.